the meeting to order. Roll call.
Ms. Enlow?
Here.
Mr. Newton?
Here.
Ms. Huffman?
Here.
Ms. Klein?
Here.
Mr. Hibbert?
Here.
Ms. Carter?
Here.
All righty. Approval of the minutes. This is February 28th, 2022, regular meeting minutes. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
There's Lisa Carter.
Second.
Lisa Klein. Okay, all in favor? 6 hands are up. Okay, thank you, council. Before I go further, the sign-in speakers, there will be no public comment on the Lakeview zoning because it's scheduled for the next meeting. And so you have to have all parties here. So if you've signed up to, and I see several of them here, get here next time at 6:25 or 6:30, and put your name back on here again, please. Okay. Yes, sir, next meeting, yeah.
28th.
28th.
March 28th.
March 28th, Monday at 6:30.
We'll do a first reading of the ordinance tonight, but no public comment tonight. Public comment on the 28th.
Okay. I guess y'all know about the tragic event that happened here in Shepherdsville with the Officer Dash. So, we have some plans. We have some plans. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. New business. First is Faith Portman.
Thank you.
So, the city and the Bullet Blast Group are working together. I have talked to Ray, and Ray is in charge of the Bullet Blast. And him and I, he said, I'm having trouble getting rides and whatever. Do you mind helping? So I said, sure. So you know me, I jump in there. And I got 2 different proposals from 2 different companies, and that's only people that had anything available other than bounce houses. And so what we're trying to do is work with children of all ages. Last year, it seemed like it was more for smaller kids, and a lot of the older kids kind of whined and complained about it. So I called 2 different places. They sent me 2 different quotes. The Fun Time Promotion sent me 2 separate ones, one with the kiddie rides and one with bigger rides. And then Bluegrass, I picked the rides out. I got to pick them out. And I went through his, because he had them all online, and I picked out what I thought would be good for all ages, you know. And so I emailed him, and he sent me a proposal, and Fun Time sent me a proposal. And if you all, does everybody have it now?
Yeah.
And I've looked them over, the mayor and I sat down and looked them over, and my suggestion would be go with Bluegrass rides, only because they're like $30,000 cheaper. And the rides are the Ferris wheel and all that, and if you get the Ferris wheel on the other one, it's 60-some thousand. That's a no-brainer to me. And he has a train on this one, and I've talked to Hillview, and they're allowing me to borrow their train for Bullet Blast, so that would eliminate a train that we need. It's free, you know.
Oh, okay.
And I've talked to a local man here in Shepherdsville, and he's going to get back with me in the next couple of days because he has to look at his schedule. But he has hot air balloon, and he lives in the Point, and he's going to bring it over and do tenor rides, but he'll keep the money for that to pay for the gas, you know. And it's really cool. I've done it. He's come to the farmer's market a bunch of times. But if he's available, because he has some promotional people that he has to work 4th of July, but since it's not on 4th of July, we might be able to get him. So he'll get back with me in the next couple of days. But I recommend that you all go with Bluegrass rides. They're so much cheaper. I looked up reviews and all that, and I've talked to both groups. So, I mean, that's your choice. But to me, this is a no-brainer. So if somebody wants to make a motion, I
Is
guess
that what you're
we need.
requesting from the council, a motion for that one?
Well, I mean, I assume that's, you all have to make a
Okay.
motion to approve it, so.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we accept Bluegrass Rides.
Okay,
Thank you,
motion by
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Thank you,
Second
Dan.
by Dan, okay. Any discussion? And, so they'll be able to make it, then you say there's a time limit though? Would you call them tonight or something, or email them or tomorrow or something?
Yeah, they both told me that they're on a time limit.
Okay.
You know, to get this stuff rented out, and I told them, I said, as soon as I find something out, I'll call you tonight,
Okay,
to
great.
let you know.
Okay, Stacy, yeah.
So is this Saturday?
Well, okay, that's the thing I forgot to mention. Bluegrass Rides, we're gonna rent them for Saturday, but they're gonna bring them Thursday, and they're gonna run them Friday. And they will charge for the tickets that night. And anything they make over what they would've charged us for Friday night, they're gonna give us 15% back for the Shepherdsville
okay.
Fair. So, and so we'll have them Friday and Saturday, which is great, cause he
That's
said, you know, to bring them here and put them up, it's a no-brainer to have them for 2 days, you know.
And I'm sorry,
Okay.
but I was reading this. What'd you say about the train?
Oh, I'm getting the train free from Hillview.
She
It's not
contacted
on
Hillview
there.
and got the train.
So Hillview has a train?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
they'll
they
let
have
us
a train.
use, yeah. Okay, any other discussion?
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Okay, first and second, all in favor? 3 over there and three over here, okay. Thank you, 5, carries 5. Mike, is it, no,
Abstain.
abstain, okay.
Like
Thank
I said,
you.
we just,
Okay, thank you.
just
Uh,
got this. I had my 60 seconds to
Okay.
digest all this.
All right, B, first reading ordinance 022-044.
Ordinance number 022-044, an ordinance amending the Bullitt County City zoning order and Bullitt County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 43.79 acres more or less, located at South Lakeview Drive in the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 046-000-00-004A and 045-SWP-01-005 and 046-000-00-001 from B1 Highway Business to IL Light Industrial. Whereas the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission held a hearing on March 2nd, 2022, and based upon the testimony offered in that hearing, recommended that the zone change application be denied. And whereas the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, has held its own public hearing and has made its own findings of fact attached hereto as Exhibit A, and overrides the recommendation of the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission and approves the requested zone change. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky. Section 1. The Bullitt County City zoning order and the Bullitt County City zoning map are hereby amended to change the zoning of 43.79 acres more or less, located at South Lakeview Drive in the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 046-000-00-004A and 045-SWP-01-005 and 046-000-00-001 from B1 Highway Business to IL Light Industrial. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon publication. Section 3, should any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, the same shall not affect the remainder of this ordinance. Section 4, parts of any ordinances in conflict with this ordinance or any part of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 14th day of March 2022, to be given second reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 28th day of March 2022.
Thank you, Ms. Tanny.
So does everybody understand that signed up for that, you think?
Yeah.
Or just saying?
It seemed like it.
Okay.
So again, like the mayor had said, anyone who doesn't want to speak on that application or the next one, come back on the 28th. Public hearing will be on the 28th, March 28th. Oh, we can change that. Okay. We can change that.
All right, next, first reading ordinance 022-045.
Ordinance number 022-045, an ordinance amending the Bullitt County City zoning order and Bullitt County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 7.50 acres more or less, located at tracts 1 through 6 on South Lakeview Drive in the city of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 045-SWP-02-001 and 045-SWP-02-036 and 045-SWP-02-037 and 045-SWP-02-036A and 045-SWP-02-035A from B1 Highway Business to IL Light Industrial. Whereas the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission held a hearing on March 2nd, 2022, and based upon the testimony offered in that hearing, recommended that the zone change application be denied. And whereas the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, has held its own public hearing and has made its own findings of fact attached hereto as Exhibit A, and overrides the recommendation of the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission and approves the requested zone change. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, Section 1, the Bullitt County City Zoning Order and the Bullitt County City Zoning Map are hereby amended to change the zoning of 7.50 acres more or less located at tracts 1 through 6 on South Lakeview Drive in the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 045-SWP-02-001 and 045-SWP-02-036 and 045-SWP-02-037 and 045-SWP-02-036A and 045-SWP-02-035A from B1 Highway Business to IL Light Industrial. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon publication. Section 3, should any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, the same shall not affect the remainder of this ordinance. Section 4, parts of any ordinances in conflict with this ordinance or any part of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 14th day of March 2022, to be given second reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 28th day of March 2022.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I may go back to item A,
Yeah.
was there any kind of committee formed to look into this?
Yes. Me and Faith and Tom LaFollette.
You
Yeah.
established the committee?
Well, we met. Me and him, me and
I
the
mean, I
three
said,
met
was there a
together.
committee formed?
No.
No committee, okay.
What are you talking about?
Bullet
The
Blast?
rides.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, what
There's
kind
no
of
committee formed about the zoning
Yeah, no-
ordinance.
Maybe
Yeah.
we need to let the people
Oh,
know
yeah.
there's a committee.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Next, D, first reading order 022046.
Ordinance number 022-046, an ordinance amending the Bullitt County City Zoning Order and Bullitt County City Zoning Map as amended, changing the zoning of 27.8 acres more or less located at the northeast intersection of Cedar Grove Road and Interstate 65 in the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 046-000-00-014 from B1 Highway Business to IL Light Industrial. Whereas the Bullitt County Joint Planning Commission held a hearing on March 2nd, 2022, and based upon the testimony offered in that hearing, found that such change is in agreement with the adopted comprehensive plan and has recommended that the Bullitt County City Zoning Order and the Bullitt County City Zoning Map be amended to change the zoning of 27.8 acres located at the northeast intersection of Cedar Grove Road and Interstate 65 in the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 046-000-00-014 from B1 Highway Business to IL Light Industrial, and whereas the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky approves said recommendation. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, Section 1, the Bullitt County City Zoning Order and the Bullitt County City Zoning Map are hereby amended to change the zoning of 27.8 acres located at the northeast intersection of Cedar Grove Road and Interstate 65 in the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky, also known as parcel 046-000-00-014 from B1 Highway Business to IL Light Industrial. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect upon publication. Section 3, should any section, clause, line, paragraph, or part of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, the same shall not affect the remainder of this ordinance. Section 4, parts of any ordinances in conflict with this ordinance or any part of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 14th day of March 2022, to be given second reading and public hearing at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 28th day of March 2022.
Thank you. Next, under new business, E is read resolution 2212.
City of Shepherdsville Resolution 22-12, a resolution authorizing and directing the payment of administrative costs of the American Rescue Plan State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, ARP SLFRF program, authorizing mayor to have full authority on and authorizing the mayor to act as the authorized correspondent for the payment of said costs. Whereas the U.S. Treasury has stated that American Rescue Plan Act Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, SLFRF, recipients may use the funds for administering the SLFRF program, including costs of consultants to support effective management and oversight, including consultation for ensuring compliance with legal, regulatory, and other requirements. And whereas the city has entered into an agreement with Kentuckiana Regional Planning and Development Agency, or KIPTA, for the administration of ARPA funds. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky as follows. It is in the best interest of the city that the fees set forth in the agreement with KIPTA shall be paid using the ARPA SLFRF funds, and it is hereby so ordered. We do need action on this tonight, and Mayor, all this is authorizing KIPTA funds to be paid out of the ARPA funds that we're receiving.
Oh,
And KIPTA is helping us administer the funds.
Oh, okay.
And they've been very, very helpful to us so far.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second, Dan. Okay, all in favor?
Question?
Yeah.
Let's see. So the total administrative costs are coming out of the ARPA funds? And, how and when are we advised of what those costs are? Because we'll have to,
No, we know the cost.
What is?
We'd have to look at the agreement, but it's a set, isn't it a percentage? Is it a percentage of what we get, I think?
is that the same group that was doing, the housing, the $200,000 we were getting from, wasn't it from KIPTA onto a local agency for the $200,000 for some other,
Yeah, KIPTA had some involvement.
they had,
with that.
5%.
So it's the same one.
Yeah, it's the same one.
So
Not
they're,
the same program.
Yeah.
they're getting 5%.
I don't know that it's 5%. Is it?
Of the 200,000?
No, of the
Of the
ARPA
ARPA.
funds.
Of the ARPA, it's 36,219 or something like that.
Yeah. She's doing all of our reporting, and it's a lot of federal reporting. And anytime we have a question, we reach out, and for me, she's been very responsive. Jennifer Wilson at KIPTA.
What's her name?
And she will do the actual reporting
Yeah.
herself.
And that, I don't think we have the manpower here in the city to do that level of reporting. It's a lot.
Well, there's a pretty lot of mandate on it.
It is, it's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
And it's her whole job, that's all
And
she
it's
does
probably
at
gonna
KIPTA.
change
Yeah.
month to month.
Yeah.
Okay, got first and second? All in favor? Next is resolution 2213.
City of Shepherdsville Resolution 22-13, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by the U.S. Treasury to participate in the American Rescue Plan State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, ARP SLFRF program, authorizing mayor to have full authority on and authorizing the mayor to act as the authorized correspondent for the proposed project. Whereas the city desires funding for expenses incurred due to the public health emergency with respect to the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 on behalf of the residents of the city, and whereas it is recognized that the SLFRF funds are available to the city pursuant to the American Rescue Plan and impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the city that require, among other things, number one, reporting to the U.S. Treasury with annual reports on eligible project spending of the SLFRFs, and two, other obligations of the city in connection with receiving the SLFRF funds for the purposes stated herein. Whereas the proposed expenditure of premium pay for eligible employees would be an eligible expense under the following categories listed by the U.S. Treasury for the ARP SLFRF program. Number one, premium pay. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky as follows. That the City of Shepherdsville will pay a premium of $13 per hour in addition to regular pay for the hours worked from July 1, 2021 to December 31, 2021, with a maximum payment for said time period being $2,500. That the City of Shepherdsville will pay a premium of $13 per hour in addition to regular pay for the hours worked from January 1, 2022 to June 30, 2022, with a maximum payment for said time period being $2,500. To be eligible, an employee must have been employed by the city or the Shepherdsville Sewer Department during the stated time period, must be currently employed by the city, must submit timesheets for bi-weekly payroll. Said premium pay shall not be paid for any hours worked via telework. The city shall comply with all federal regulations.
Thank you. And once again, this is the ARPA requirement for the ARPA funds for that premium pay, right?
Before we can pay it.
Okay,
I'll make a motion.
okay, was that,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
okay. Stacy Klein, Bonnie Enlow. Okay, all in favor?
Questions?
Yes. Go ahead.
Hate to cut this out. You have to have 192 hours, I think, according, I asked for figures from Tanya today. And the $13 an hour for the $2,500 maximum means you had to work 192 hours in a 6-month period of time,
Okay.
each of these. So, I understand she said that some people may not qualify. We have employees that can't get 5 weeks of work and 20 weeks of time, unless there's a medical situation.
I mean,
No, they started in
and maybe she
December.
just means there are some employees, like I'm technically an employee of the
Okay.
city of
So
Shepherdsville,
in
but
other
I'm
words,
not, yeah.
if they
So that
started-
might be
if
what
they-
Tanya means.
And it was meant that we do have some employees that started in November and in December.
Okay, that explains
So
it.
those employees would not get the full.
So they don't qualify for the first half?
Right.
Okay.
Well, they'll qualify for some, we have to actually calculate their hours, look at their overtime hours.
Okay.
And that's how it's calculated.
So that's employees in November and December.
Yes.
And then, do any employees that have, that maybe had that 192 hours and left employment during that period, the last half of 21?
They have to be employed at the time we're going to issue the payment to them, because part of
Okay.
this is retention. It is retention of employees, so they
Well,
have to
because-
currently be
I
employed.
mean, I got the impression
Yeah.
that this was being compensated for people that worked during that period of time.
Another part of the reason we're doing it, though, is retention. So I think that was one of the qualifications that we had talked about, and that's why it's in the resolution. You have to be a current employee. So to say thank you to the employees for working hard, and thank you also
Okay.
for still being here
All right.
with us. Yeah.
So that's a no on that, right? Because I was reading down there a little further, I had a little bit of a conflict with understanding those terms, must have been employed and must currently be employed.
Yes.
When you're talking about two different time frames. Okay. I'm done for that.
All right, all in favor? 3 over here, 4, and abstain? Okay. Abstain, okay. All right, next, resolution 2214.
City of Shepherdsville Resolution 22-14, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by the U.S. Treasury to participate in the American Rescue Plan State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, ARP SLFRF program, authorizing mayor to have full authority on and authorizing the mayor to act as the authorized correspondent for the proposed project. Whereas city desires funding for expenses incurred due to the public health emergency with respect to the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 on behalf of the residents of the city, and whereas it is recognized that SLFRF funds are available to the city pursuant to the American Rescue Plan and impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the city that require, among other things, number 1, reporting to the U.S. Treasury with annual reports on eligible project spending of the SLFRFs, and 2, other obligations of the city in connection with receiving the SLFRF funds for the purposes stated herein. Whereas the proposed project of flock safety camera system would be an eligible expense under the following categories listed by the U.S. Treasury for the ARP SLFRF program. Number 1, government services. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky as follows. That the City of Shepherdsville will use $22,000 of the funds provided by the ARP SLFRF allocation to purchase the flock safety camera system.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, Kenny and Donnie second. All in favor?
At
Two
least
over
some
here.
discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are these the cameras for $2,500 each?
Yes.
It's $2,500 per camera per year, correct?
So this will only cover the first year.
Okay.
This is a number that we feel like budgetarily we can make work for years going on down the line.
Any other questions for Darren?
Thank you.
Okay, let's see, once again, all in favor? 3 over here and 3 over there, okay. Thank you, council. Thank you for the question. Old business. Next, we have the second reading. Summary of ordinance, 021037.
Mayor, to discuss this, we would need a motion to bring it off the table.
Make a motion to bring it off the table.
Okay. Okay, Bonnie first and Debbie second it? Okay. Okay. So all in favor to bring it off the table? Three over there, three. Lisa, no vote or no? Okay, all right. Pass, okay. Now,
I'll go on and read it then, and then, is that okay? And then
yeah,
discuss?
and
Okay.
then we discuss and then, vote on it.
Can I ask a question? Who made the motion and who seconded it?
Bonnie made the motion.
You seconded it?
And Deb seconded, yeah.
And then what,
Then the votes were 5 hands up and Lisa's no.
okay,
Okay,
sorry,
okay.
Summary of ordinance number 021-037. An ordinance amending ordinance 019-283 and adopting a personnel and pay rate classification plan for city employees and non-elected city officers for the city of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky. In summary, Section 1 sets forth that Section 2 is amended to add the positions of accounting clerk and wastewater clerk. Number 11 within Section 1 accounting clerk, beginning pay rate $39,582.40 per year. Maximum pay rate $54,582.40 per year. And number 12 will be wastewater clerk, beginning pay rate $39,582.40 per year. Maximum pay rate $54,582.40 per year. Section 2 sets forth that Section 9 is amended to add the job description and education requirements for the position of accounting clerk and wastewater clerk. Section 3 sets forth severability. Section 4 sets forth publication requirement. Section 5 sets forth the repealer clause.
Motion to accept.
Second, Bonnie. Bonnie first. You have a second? Any discussion?
Which one were you reading?
A, number
I know A, but I don't think we all have
37.
copies.
37.
37.
O 21-037.
You wanna look at mine?
Yeah, I didn't, was that one they passed out before?
Yeah.
We gotta bring our own? Okay.
Did we have a motion and a second?
Yeah, motion
Okay.
second.
Now, discussion, on this, I know we've had this before. What kind of productivity and what kind of response can we expect if we okay these new positions? We're still, I feel, very somewhat short of the information we need. We've been hearing that until we get people, we can't get the information, we can't get this. So if we approve the people, are we going to see results?
Yes.
The one thing I
I
would
know it's
say
easy
though
to
is I
say
know
yes, but what kind of a standard are we gonna use to measure?
it will take time to hire folks though, because it
Correct.
has to go through civil service and all
Right.
that. And I can't tell
Give
you the
a
time
test
frame on
and go
that,
through
but
civil
I'm saying, once you get these people,
Then we gotta train them on the, Edmonds, we're training them on the Edmonds, and then,
my understanding on Edmonds, you're not gonna get that until August?
I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer to that.
August. Tony said that's
August, okay.
correct.
August?
Yeah.
And Tanya, approximately how long would they need to be trained ahead of time before they're functional in it?
Well, you wouldn't want to train too far in advance because.
Understand.
You don't use it, you lose it. So, but we have tons of work to be done.
I figured you
in the
did.
department. There's a lot of analysis that needs to be done for the city of Shepherdsville that has not been done in my time here. And it doesn't look like it was done prior to me.
No, it wasn't.
And unless we have that type of analysis, you all cannot make good decisions.
And Tanya's stuck in the minutia, is that fair to
Yeah,
say, of
yeah.
the accounting
Yeah,
part?
you know, today I spent a lot of the day balancing the checking account. That should not be done at my level.
Yeah.
You know, that
I
should
agree.
be done by somebody else
I
at
agree.
lower pay scale. So my level should be analyzing the financial statements that you get and analyzing projects to make sure that our cost and our contracts are awarded and applied correctly. But we can't do those types of things in the admin office because we are busy writing checks, doing accounts payable, doing balance and checking accounts is not something that I should be doing.
I had a discussion with a county official today, and it's the same thing. I asked a question, we're shorthanded. We can't spend enough time to put this information in and get it organized, and I understand that, but also want to see measurable results, particularly if we're hiring more people and implementing new software.
Right. And you're right, and implementing the software doesn't come just, you know, we push a button and we have it.
know.
It will take hours and hours. You know, we've had a meeting this week and a meeting last week on the implementation, and we are just this far into it.
Well, but time-
Today we were talking about withholding tax.
Right.
And whether it was gonna be online and how it was gonna be processed, and, so a lot of decisions have to be made on Edmonds, but we also have to have time to do that. So we have to do accounts payable, we have to do payroll, we have to pay taxes, we have to print W-2s. There's a long list of daily activities that have to take place. And the other stuff is extra. Edmonds, the auditors, you know, all of that is like, we can do it, but we're gonna be overtime. We're gonna be working long hours to get it done. And I don't think that is what is expected.
No.
You know, we should have appropriate staff to manage the accounting of this city.
How many accounting clerks you need?
Well, we have one in the budget that was supposed to start in January. And so after we get that one trained and hired, and we're gonna have two because one of the accounting clerks is transferring to another position.
You need the one that's already approved
But
plus
we need-
one more
Yes.
right now?
Yes. And I expect work. I am a hard worker, and I expect people who work for me to work hard. It's
Well,
not a,
and you and Gayla are working overtime,
yeah,
a lot of
Working
overtime.
some weekends too.
I mean, I went by the other night and it was 9 o'clock and Gayla
Yeah.
was still here.
yeah. Because it takes that amount of time to get this work out.
Okay, any other
So,
questions? Oh, go ahead, you got some more?
I was trying to think something here.
And I want to give you all the information you'll
Right.
need. I am not trying to hide anything, but it takes time to gather it.
Okay.
Hopefully we do get qualified candidates that are going to apply. If you look around, everybody needs help.
Yeah.
People are, so that's,
And that is,
depends on the people we get, if we can get what we're
Right.
looking for. And then also, while we're training them, our work doesn't stop. It keeps going, so.
you know,
Okay.
Gayla spent a lot of time showing me things over, since I've only been here since May. You know, Gayla has spent a lot of her time helping me. We've hired, what, 8 new employees this year, since January 1st? And
Yeah.
for every new employee that's hired at this city, it takes a minimum of 2 hours of Gayla's time, a minimum. And that is to get them,
All the benefits with our open enrollment, health, dental, vision, life, all of the voluntary benefits offered, get them set up with CERS, get them to the payroll, all set up, ready to pay. I mean, yeah, it takes a lot of time. We definitely don't set a number for
All right.
every, once we do all everything we gotta have more people.
All right, thank you. All right, so we have first and a second.
Didn't the accounting firm say that we needed
yes. In the last 2 audits,
we
you've
needed
been.
4 people or something?
Yes. And I don't wanna overhire, because, you know, once you hire somebody, you have them. So
That's
I
right.
would rather hire somebody, train them, see what we can, put efficiencies in place to take care of us. Cause we do have some efficiencies that we need to take care of, but those also take time. You know, we have 100 LG&E bills that we pay. Well, we could condense that to probably 30, but it takes time to condense them. There's lots of decisions that have to be made. You have to go into the LG&E's website and put things in place to where they will bill us on a condensed bill. We can also do that with Salt River Electric, but of course that takes time. So, you know, we don't do that because we have to get the daily work done.
Okay, we got a first and a second, right? Okay, all in favor? Over here, 5. and Lisa.
Provided we get this
Okay.
improvement,
All right,
is what?
all right, 5, 4,
Just-
Lisa was, Lisa, no, abstain, okay. Put it abstain for Lisa. Okay, next, second reading of ordinance 021038. Now,
This
this
one
was
also
tabled.
is tabled, Mayor,
Okay.
yes. We would need a motion to bring it off the table to consider it as well.
Second.
Motion by
Made the
Deb,
motion.
and- yeah,
Deb.
Deb made the motion, and was that you, Bonnie?
Yes.
Okay, Bonnie and Lois second, okay. Okay, all in favor to, off the table to read it? Three down there and three over here. Lisa abstain? Okay, abstain for Lisa.
Ordinance number 022-038 in summary. An ordinance amending the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky annual budget by line item for the fiscal year July 1, 2021 through June 30, 2022 by estimating the revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of city government. Section 1 sets forth a line item budget for all departments of the City of Shepherdsville with the exception of the sewer department, which is addressed by separate ordinance. The annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022 is summarized herein by category as follows. Let's see. Under the estimated revenues, miscellaneous revenue was $135,723. That's amended to $248,255. Total estimated revenues to the general fund was $17,213,812.48. That's amended to $17,326,344.48. Total resources available for appropriations from the general fund, it was $22,034,881.13. That's amended to $22,147,413.13. In the appropriations for administration, total department operating expense was $426,600. That's amended to $431,700. Total contractor fees and services was $401,400. That's amended to $423,900. Total capital expenses was $3,485,000. That's amended to $3,565,000. Total administrative was $5,716,601.36. That's amended to $5,824,201.36. Under Public Works, total capital expense was $1,365,000. That's amended to $1,369,932. Total Public Works was $2,922,074.01. That's amended to $2,927,006.01. Total appropriations from the general fund was $20,965,268.55. That's amended to $21,077,800.55. Section 2 sets forth effective upon publication. Section 3 sets forth publication requirement. Section 4 sets forth repealer. Section 5 sets forth severability. Given first reading by summary at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky. Oops, I got that date wrong, Mayor. That date is wrong. The second reading by summary is the 14th day of March 2022. We'll have to change that date to the date we did the first reading.
Okay. Okay. Okay, motion?
Motion.
Second.
Bonnie, second?
Discussion.
I noticed that I think this has been changed a couple of times, amended a couple of times anyway. But going back to the excess resources, basically what we described as a carryover, $1,069,000, and if I recall, that now is in the neighborhood of about $500,000 more than what we started out with. I could be wrong.
I would have to double check that.
I meant originally, the original summary called for less than $1 million, I believe. And I think it was in the 600,000 range.
But we've had updates since then as
Right,
they,
we've had
as they
updates.
do the, working on the financials.
And I don't know the answer to that.
Right. My only question is, I believe it's in the $400,000 or $500,000 range. My question is any of this additional surplus that we expect to have carried over, is any of it restricted for any specific use?
No.
Right now? Okay.
No. There could be some restricted use in there, because you asked me questions about the road fund, and I have not went back and researched the road fund money.
The MAP money?
No, this is the money that we borrowed for Keystone.
Yeah, roundabout, Keystone,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
That was the $3 million.
Right.
But they've
So-
only, as I recall, when they were talking about the roundabout and the design, it was approximately $1.6 million, but there was only about that much of the $3 million already spent, so that money should still be there.
It should still be there but it's not sitting in an account anywhere, so it would be in that,
No, it's an available asset.
yeah.
That
Right.
we haven't touched yet because it's in a loan that we draw
So,
as
well, we
needed.
drew like 2.6 million from that loan. I haven't went back and pulled all of the project expenditures to see what exactly we spent that money on.
Because I know when they had the meeting upstairs, the proposal, they said to complete that project, 1.6 million estimated. Okay, so you said
Right.
how much more has been drawn down?
I believe 2.6 million has been drawn off that loan.
So almost another million.
And I can't,
So
You
we
know-
only got $600,000 left in a,
no, I can't tell you that there's only
Okay.
$500,000 or $600,000 left on that carryover. You know, things have changed back and forth, as we got the financials in better shape.
right,
And I could probably come up with that number for you, but, not off the top of my head.
well, because I understood that loan, the
What-
road improvements in that project was the only thing it could be used for.
I agree with you.
Okay, so,
And that research needs to be done.
Right.
We need to go back and pull that project, see how much we've spent, and see exactly how
Yeah.
much we pulled out of
Okay.
that loan.
I just want to make sure some of them didn't make a hard left and go
You're
someplace
right,
else.
you're right.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I had a question also.
Yes.
We had discussed in the police department after they bought their Trimble forensic
Okay.
equipment for that
Correct.
money.
Okay.
Can't hear you.
Speak up.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the thing.
If the air conditioning's running.
On the police department, when they purchased the Trimble forensic equipment,
Yes.
actually, it's stating that they used the whole amount in the line item budget, and they only spent $40,189. We as a council had asked for that 2,311 to go back in, so.
Yes.
Is there a reason why it wasn't on this amendment?
Yes, because that is going to be in the third amendment to the budget. This amendment, and I know the 4,000 sort of, 4,932 that's going into the Adam Shepherd Parkway project. And the reason I put that in there is because we had excess revenue coming in the door, revenue that we did not expect. So we had a total of $238,000 that we were not expecting. So I put $238,000 in the budget amendment and $238,000 worth of expenses. It keeps it balanced and organized. That's the reason I did it that way. So when we split it apart, this budget amendment only has $112,000 of revenue coming in, but it also has $112,000 being expended. It's a balancing tool that I'm using. So I have that on my list for that Trimble to be reduced.
Okay.
Because there's gonna be some other things. Once we get a handle on, the road fund, we're gonna need to add some more money to that because I believe I've sent y'all invoices on the, what has been charged there. 2 of the invoices, I believe, could have went back to last year because of, that's when the work was done. And then, but 2 of them we received this year and the work was done this year. It was the finalization of the plans. So we're gonna need more money in that account to cover the expenses that we have. But we really need to do the research on the road fund and, get all of that together. So I saved that $2,000 to go in the next amendment. We will have probably, you know, I don't know how many amendments y'all normally have to the budget, but I would expect probably 4 to 6 amendments to the budget overall.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Been first and second, and, ready to vote, all in favor? 3 over there, 3 over here, okay, 6, thank you. Next, Tammy Baker's gonna read second reading of ordinance 022043.
Ordinance number 022-043. An ordinance adopting the federal uniform administrative requirements, cost principles, and audit requirements for federal awards codified at 2 CFR Part 200, only as it relates to expenditure of American Rescue Plan funds. Whereas the city of Shepherdsville has not adopted the state model procurement code, which is codified as KRS 45A, or the federal procedures codified at 2 CFR Part 200, and instead does its bidding in accordance with statutory and common law. And whereas the city of Shepherdsville is permitted to adopt the federal procedures in relation to specific projects involving expenditure of grant funds. And whereas the city of Shepherdsville is required to adopt and follow the federal procedures in relation to expenditure of American Rescue Plan funds. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Section 1. The City of Shepherdsville hereby adopts the provisions of the Uniform Administrative Requirements, Cost Principles, and Audit Requirements for federal awards codified at 2 CFR Part 200 only as it relates to expenditure of American Rescue Plan funds and for no other project. Section 2. This ordinance shall take effect upon publication. Section 3. Any ordinance or part of any ordinance in conflict with this ordinance or any part of this ordinance is hereby repealed. Section 4. Should any section, clause, line, paragraph, or any part of this ordinance be held unconstitutional or invalid for any reason, the same shall not affect the validity of the remainder of this ordinance. Given first reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 28th day of February 2022. Given second reading at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, on the 14th day of March 2022. And Mayor, like we had talked about when we did the first reading, this is a requirement that we have to do to spend the ARPA funds.
Oh.
It's a requirement.
And
before we
this
can
is
spend any funds.
022047, right?
This is 043.
43.
47 is the next one.
Right. I didn't have four.
I don't have it.
I didn't.
Hold on a second.
You don't have this one? We did a first reading last time.
Oh, you know what, I probably didn't bring it with me. I can't see it.
So this is adopting the federal bidding procedures, procurement requirements. Like I said, we have to do it before we can spend 1 penny of the ARPA funds.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Stacy, Colin?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Three to the left, three to the right, thank you. Next, first reading of ordinance 022047.
Summary of ordinance number 022-047. An ordinance amending ordinance 019-283 and adopting a personnel and pay rate classification plan for city employees and non-elected city officers for the city of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky. In summary, Section 1 sets forth that Section 2 is amended to add the position of Parks and Recreation Administrator. Section 2 sets forth that Section 9 is amended to add the job description and education requirements for the position of Parks and Recreation Administrator. Section 3 sets forth that Section 7 is amended to add the following provision. Premium pay of $13 per hour shall be added for every eligible employee pursuant to Resolution 22-13 with an end date of September 30th, 2022. Section 4 sets forth severability clause. Section 5 sets forth the publication requirement. Section 6 sets forth the repealer clause.
Thank you. No action on that? Okay, I know of no planning and zoning update, no Board of Adjustments update. Sign-in speakers, like I said, those who signed in
Mayor.
for the Lakeview.
If I could make a comment here
Yeah.
prior, I have a suggestion that tonight we pass the, what was it, the pay? The premium pay?
Yeah, premium pay.
Okay, for 101 city employees. I would like to make a motion, and I hope my council would support that. The information that I got from Tanya Taylor today is that the cost of that over the, and it can vary a little bit, over both sections is gonna be about $743,000. I would like to make a proposal right now that we put an equal amount of money in a resolution, 2 resolutions. One to spend that same amount of money on road projects, and the other one depends to spend that same amount of money on drainage projects that will benefit the 13,000 people that live in our community. Do I have a second?
I'll give you a second, Mike.
Thank you. Discussion?
And I would just say, so the motion though is to have me draft a resolution. So
Correct.
obviously nothing takes effect until we would re-vote.
Correct.
So that's the motion to have. me
That's
draft a
correct.
resolution, yeah. And all that would be a fine expenditure of ARPA funds.
At ARPA funds equal to the amount that we've done in this. We can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can you step up here?
I thought there was something that we could use in the ARPA, we could use it for roads.
I did too.
That's what I thought.
I thought too.
Why not?
I thought it said no roads.
No building of new roads, I believe.
I think we may be able to, but I wanna check with Jennifer.
Yeah, we can double check.
Right.
Because, we adopted that amendment of the $10 million, it allows us to use, the ARPA funds for normal city business.
In government service is
Right.
broad.
Right, it's a broad umbrella for us.
Now, I understood you couldn't use it to build, or initially, build new roads, but you could use it to maintain the ones you have.
And if the motion passes tonight, obviously, if Tanya or I find out from Jennifer Wilson that we
Correct.
can't, we'll let everybody know
Right.
immediately.
Subject to
but-
legality, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I thought we could use it for that.
But Tanya's right, when we went back and did that $10 million, it really opened it up where we can do a lot of things with the money, that where we were restricted before and couldn't
Correct.
do as broad of
Yes.
projects. That's exactly right.
Okay, any other, discussion on it?
Mayor, may I ask, I guess I would need to discuss, assuming that the motion passes in drafting the resolution, do we wanna say, who's gonna decide on the road and drainage projects? Are we letting Public Works decide and Sewer Department decide, or we, I mean, I don't
Can we
know.
make a committee and let the citizens, speak their piece for a change?
Don't we, when we pass a resolution for funds, don't we have to have, somewhat of an accounting of where it's going to be spent?
Yeah, so really, if
Okay.
we did this resolution, it would be more like, we're gonna dog ear
Right.
this money and
Yeah.
send it over here, but
Right.
at some point, the projects have to be determined.
Okay,
So we may just wanna think about how we wanna go about determining what those projects are.
because I don't think it's gonna take a whole lot to spend that amount of money on those properties. You know, we might even get down to Stoughton, I don't know. But, that's my motion.
And this is just a resolution for you.
It's the
Correct.
motion to have me draft the
Draft the
resolution.
resolution.
But
Okay,
just keep in the
uh,
back of your minds, assuming it passes, there will need to be some mechanism on who's gonna determine what these projects are.
Correct.
If it's a committee or how that's gonna be decided.
Okay, how many's in favor of, Tammy,
In favor?
okay,
In
of
favor
Tammy?
of doing it?
Of
I'm in
writing the
favor
resolution
Of
up?
a resolution, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so how many, three over there, Mike over here,
Yes.
And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Stacy too?
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
No or an abstain?
No.
no,
Mayor, then I will draft that resolution for first reading next time, and I might just leave it kinda open as far as the mechanism, and we can maybe think
yeah,
about it.
basically what he said, just kind
Yeah.
of devote to spend that much
Yeah, and
toward,
then we just need to figure
try to
out.
find that.
Just to
yeah.
appropriate
What we need
that
to
money
look
in.
at is not just all of a sudden us just keep deciding each meeting, oh, we're gonna do this, and oh, we're gonna do that, and then all of a sudden we're out of money, and all our projects that we were wanting to get done doesn't get done. We need to split this up and help several places.
Right.
At that point, that's half of the money right there.
Actually-
Those two items take half of everything. What's left for all the other departments that need tooling and supplies and things to do? And for our parks, for our local children and stuff, that we need to keep, we need to put the basketball parks like we promised. We need to
That was
put,
already budgeted.
yeah, that was the basketball.
court
well,
was
but
budgeted.
everything else in the park isn't budgeted that we've been promising, and we owe it. We need fences around, on the riverside around the
Yeah.
park, so our children,
Agree with that.
especially our special needs children, don't end up in the river.
Yeah.
So we need to be not just spending a little here, and a little here, and a little here. We need to come up with a plan. You know, it's like Tanya, she can't just spend our money willy-nilly here and there. It has to be a plan. Cause otherwise you're gonna go broke real fast.
Well, I
That's
guess
my reason for voting against it.
between now and then, everybody needs to think about what they want.
Well, we've
or what
been
the
doing that.
Department heads need.
The department heads need to come forward and let us know what's needed. I know, Public Works needs tooling real bad. The police needs some things, fire department, everybody.
And that's been in suggestions, I'm just saying, those have been some of the suggestions we've received so far. But to clarify it a little bit further, I'm not the type of person just to leave figures hanging out there. This $742,000 that Tanya estimates would be the cost of the, premium pay over both sections, both periods. And that's what this money would accomplish. But if we applied the $742,000 for both roads and drainage, it would still leave us about $996,000 to spend on anything else we want, which would almost fully cover, if I recall, which would almost fully cover that million we want for a clarifier, $500,000 for a fire truck, $700,000, which was thrown up there for the park. I don't know if it'll take all that or
You're
what. but
already over budget.
no, you're not already. You got $996,000 left
A
after
million-
this.
$1 million for the clarifiers.
No, I'm saying,
Well, we
yes,
were only
I'm saying
gonna-
you could do that, or you could do something
Or.
else, or
Okay,
you
I
could
didn't
do
hear the word
several
or.
things, yeah. Or, no,
That was funny, Matt.
That or
So-
wasn't in there.
there's still, and I base this on 2 times the payment we've already got, which falls a little bit short of the 3.4 million that's on the line. But if we do get the 3.4 million, that should put us over $1 million that we have then to allocate for any other projects. And I won't ask for much more, to tell you the truth.
I'm gonna make a suggestion that,
Yes.
you know, the department heads have a meeting every Tuesday.
Mhm.
And I think we should take up that list and come up with a list of roads that need to be paved.
Sure.
And what the cost of that would be.
Yeah.
And do some on drainage. I know that there's some drainage projects that people have,
All right,
been developed. Let's get those prices together and get those to y'all.
absolutely.
And that way you all can make a decision on,
Yeah.
you know, is this the package of roads we want, or,
Right.
you know?
Take the
and
money
I-
as far as it'll go.
Right,
All right.
right. And I agree, Lisa, we should have more committees that include, residents of Shepherdsville. When I look at other websites, I've been looking at Pikeville, and one of the reasons is because Pikeville is the same size of Shepherdsville. Their website is great if you wanna look at it. They also just put Edmonds in place. So they are using the same software, they have many of the same departments that we have. And they have a lot of committees that are made up by residents. The residents fill out an application to be selected to be on the committee, to where it gives our residents a vote in what has taken place.
Agree.
So I think that's a great tool that we should utilize. But we'll get those lists together of projects and,
All right.
get you some pricing on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, sign-in speakers, we got, now, let me see, there's a Willie Hines, Miss Hines. What was you gonna,
It's just a couple of questions. I'll ask Mike, you'll answer.
okay.
Put me on the spot, huh?
Oh. All right. Okay, then, Lisa Kaufman? Lisa Kaufman? Oh, Perry, you wanna go first? Perry, you go, okay. See, I had to move around because they had to take all the Lakeview zoning thing off here because they couldn't speak, so looks like there was, only 2 left. Willie was the third one. She said she'll talk to Mike about
What
it.
was the name?
Willie.
No, who's?
This is Perry Cook and Lisa Kaufman.
Thank you.
And then Willie Hines said she'll talk to Mike. Willie did.
Off the record?
Okay, good.
Trouble for me to add one too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Good evening. I'm Perry Cook from Mark 12 Ministries. My address is 6504 Route Road. That's Fisherville, 40299. I just wanted to, give you guys just a quick synopsis of the White Flag Shelter. It closed today. Today was the last day for the White Flag Shelter. We actually helped 56 individuals this winter, with 88% of those adults coming from Bullitt County. How we found that out is, well, we asked, we talked to them, we built relationships with them, and then we confirmed where they were living before, their relationship to the county, and the relations they still have in the county. We also had a lot of successes. We had 9 individuals from that 56 go to long-term rehabilitation. We were able to use that as an opportunity to move people into our Room in the Inn program, which we're getting ready, and there's an update in that. talking about since November what we've been able to achieve with Room at the Inn since it has fallen under the Mark 12 ministry and no longer a part of Heart of My City. But also on the last page, I asked you guys to consider the lease, the two proposals. I'm going to withdraw that because of the news that I got today. So I'll not be asking to lease. And again, I want to reiterate, I've really never asked for anything other than your support. I've not asked for monies for operations. We operate our ministry. I've asked you to consider to spend money towards our homeless problem. By the way, it is a problem. But I've not asked for you to fund Mark 12. Mark 12, we are able to operate with the monies that come from the churches and individual donors and the organizations that support our ministry. I just want to make that real clear. And again, I want to urge you to think about ARPA money and what it's designed for. I'll give you a great example. We've got a gentleman that is staying with us that prior to COVID was not homeless. He lived in the apartments right behind where Housing First in Kentuckiana Works is on Blue Lick. And he's on disability. He was working 20 hours a week at KFC and going to his appointments regularly at 7 counties back in 2019. Then COVID came and they closed down 7 counties. They couldn't see patients anymore. He lost his job at KFC because of cuts, because the restaurants were closed. So within 6 months, he was homeless. And he's remained homeless. I know that you guys see him walking around. He's a wonderful man. He does have a lot of struggles, and we've been trying to get him back into 7 counties to get back on his medicine so that he can again be functional and be a part of our society. He wants to be a part of it. I'm sure he'd love to have a conversation with you. But when the Democrats and Republicans bipartisanly chose to pass CARES and ARPA, this gentleman was exactly who they had in mind. A person that was impacted directly by the pandemic. Someone who was thriving in our community, someone who is participating in our community, who is now homeless and in desperate need of guidance. I don't know if you guys know many bipolar schizophrenics, but it's very tough for them when not medicated to just navigate simple things. And when you have to use a phone and you have to use Zoom to get help from 7 counties, it's very tough for a homeless person who doesn't have a phone or a place to go to use Zoom for them to get services. And that's what our hope and our prayer has been from the beginning of this ministry. We didn't start this ministry to create a need. We created this ministry, and I will tell you again, and I've shared it before, my wife and I were heading to Scotland to plant a church. But we started a ministry in Shepherdsville because the need was here. It's not because we thought, hey, this is a great idea to help homeless in Bullitt County. It's because the homeless were here in Bullitt County with no help. None. And that's why Mark 12 Ministries, after the community came to our church, and that's in the beginning there, in the winter of 2018, and said, hey, will you open your church up so the homeless don't freeze to death? And we said, yeah, we'll open our church up. That's why we started the ministry. It wasn't because I was out kicking the can one day and I said, hey, I want to start a homeless ministry. It was because there was a need. The reason I left a 6-figure job to run this ministry is because I love the people of this community. That's why I do it. And because no one else will. I mean, that's, in 27 years in the Army, that's what I've learned from Patton. Lead me, follow me, or get out of the way. And so no one else was, so we did. And like Ronald Reagan said, if not me, who? If not now, when? And so that's why Mark 12 Ministry exists. That's why we continue to exist. That's why Pam approached us with Room at the Inn when she could no longer take care of it when Carl passed away and said, hey, will you take this ministry on? We took that ministry on. And we have continued to create a better environment, better programming, more robust programming than was there before. And we're running it above board. You don't get to be a Guide Star, Gold Star nonprofit if you're not accountable and you're not transparent. And that's what we are. So with that, I want to take a second and I want to introduce a very good friend of mine. Her name is Lisa Kaufman. She is a Navy vet. She's continuing to serve with Team Rubicon. She was one of the first on scene in Dawson Springs with Team Rubicon after the tornadoes. She's been a faithful volunteer here in Shepherdsville, not from Shepherdsville. She lives across the bridge in New Albany, but cares about our homeless community, comes here and spends evenings at our community center when other people won't, to make sure that our neighbors are safe and taken care of. But she kind of blew me away today, and she wants to talk to you guys. So I'm going
Mr.
to,
Cook,
yes.
before we do that, I would just say, it's entirely up to the council how you want to proceed, but based on what was handed to us, that's actually something that we can discuss in executive. It's up to you all if you want to do this open discussion here, but this would qualify
It would
as
be
discussion in
executive
executive session.
I think that has to be an executive.
I do too, that's what I was thinking, so, okay, well, what we'll do is, if that's,
say at least a few words before you.
okay, but you can't mention money or what, cost of what you wanna do unless we go back, okay.
And
But
not
yeah,
to cut you off, this is just something that we can talk about back there.
we talk about that,
We're just limited on our time.
Yeah,
so we
okay.
Literally are a few and we just need to present and.
yeah. Well, if you wanna, talk for a few minutes there, you can, it's usually like a 3-minute time limit, so.
That's not me.
And by the way, I'm Lisa.
Yeah, this is Lisa.
This is Lisa, and Lisa is friends with Perry, and today I just met Perry and Deb and a few other people, and I've never been here in my life before, but you guys seem like
Welcome.
good people, okay? And I'm telling you, I think God brought us today to this place because it was not on our agenda, okay? Standing here was not a part of the plan. So basically, my name is MK Wright, and I am, professionally, I am an independently licensed social worker, and I own a mental health agency in Ohio. I'm also a business consultant, and I'm also a friend of Lisa's. And so we were talking yesterday, and she was sharing with me about her mother, Carol Ann, and we were processing, and it led from one thing to another, and then Perry came up in the conversation, and this and that and everything else. And basically, Lisa Kaufman and the Kaufman family, and she owns Kaufman Properties, and the family owns lots of businesses in multiple states and has really nice resources. They want to invest in this community. And they want to invest by purchasing above asking price for the fire station.
We
Okay,
really
just,
should do this in
okay,
executive
hold on.
session.
And basically invest in this community to help the homeless program, our homeless population, and we're partnering, she's partnering with him and setting up a foundation in her mother's name, who died a year ago come May. And so we're setting up a foundation in her mother's name. The money's going to the foundation. We're going to help support this man. And we hope it will be in this community to give back to what you and everyone else is doing in this county. So that's all we have to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So what we'll do, Lisa, do you want to say hi for a second, introduce yourself? Yeah.
I'm Lisa Kaufman. I served in the Navy for 25 years.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. And I just have in my heart to help Perry.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, good. So if you want to stick around, here in just a little bit, we'll go into executive session if you'd like to. We'll make a motion to before that. Okay,
I'll put one in there.
We're done with that sign it. Now we got department reports. I don't know if any, Tom, you have anything?
I do not, sir.
Okay, Lane? Okay, good. All right, council comments, and then we'll go into executive session. Bonnie?
Just wanna offer up again my condolences to the police department and
Yes.
as well as the fire department and everybody in the city for the loss of Dash. And especially for Jeff, cause I can't imagine how hard that is. Hard enough losing a pet, much less having one shot. So, thank Dash for his, service to the city of Shepherdville and saving our officers. That's all I have.
Amen. Mike?
I don't have anything more tonight.
Okay. Stacy?
I wanna bring up, the point, Tom. I had a lady contact me about the roads back in the point, and I was just wanting to know, she wanted me to follow up to find out if she was gonna be put on some kind of road map, or what the mapping was for the roads, and where they would be on that list.
We currently have a list, and I would encourage everyone to call Nikki. She can put that in our system, and it just helps me keep track of those potholes.
Okay,
Few important things to know this year. We've already been out doing some coal patching. Coal patching is not a permanent solution. The hot mix is not available, generally won't be till the 1st of April due to temperatures. Something really important for everyone to know is your blacktop is petroleum based, and as we all know, it's going up with gas prices. Hot mix is about to double. So that's a big deal when it comes to, something that's normally $50 a ton, and all of a sudden you're paying $100 more. So, but there is a list. We're having a little trouble getting the coal patch. We got another pallet coming in. It'll either be here the end of this week, first of next week, and we'll be out again full force.
and that was on South Peak. Yep,
Yeah.
okay. I'd also,
We've already passed a lot of that up there, so her information could have been before we passed it. I'm not sure, but very possible.
thank you.
You bet.
I'd also, I think that Chris Cowan was the first handler of Dash, am I right about that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to tell him how sorry I am for his loss, and Jeff Shank and the Shepherdville Police Department. That's
Amen.
it.
Amen. Thank you.
The only thing I have are condolences for.
Thank you so much.
Tom, what about
Yes,
the splash pad tank?
We have a price, $20,400 and change versus $24,000 and change. So we're saving about $4,000. They're telling us that the longest time we could expect is 14 weeks. We're hoping it'll be sooner. It's not officially ordered yet. We're waiting for an engineer to sign off, and they assured me that would be done this week.
Sweet.
So as soon as that is signed off, it'll be ordered.
And what about the basketball?
Really the only thing holding up is right back.
Okay. What about the basketball courts? I know you was looking into trying to,
Back to our asphalt situation, I'm having a little trouble getting pricing, because the hot mix is not available yet. They're not really sure where it's gonna be. I can tell you that last year, our pricing was, at the end of the year, was almost 11,000 per each. All I can tell you is probably gonna be a little more. But as soon as the plant's open, we can expect some pricing, but, our pricing's only gonna be good for 5 to 7 days. It's fluctuating so much.
well, if you need any more money in the budget for it, we bring it to
I
us.
think we're pretty good for the basketball goals. We've already allotted for that. Just a matter of choosing some locations that, make sense for everybody and for our plan, and getting that ball rolling.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa.
I'm gonna ask about CSX. Have we gotten any information on CSX? Cause I did say I was gonna bring this up every meeting and I forgot it last
Since
time.
CSX is in the railroad people, then
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
here's what I can tell you. Nothing to do with the crossing, by the way. However, we do now have a contact with CSX.
He's got one,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Tammy gave me a
Mike and I did tour that location and noticed there had been a lot of cleaning done on that, and it is draining, so that is a plus for, and Mr. Joyner, I did speak with him. He did say that his water has gone down on his property from underneath his property, so that's good to know. It's good to know we have a contact now. Tanya, on the audit for last year, how is that coming along?
Well, the audit for, they're waiting for some information from me. We have provided them some, you know, with any audit, there's a long list of documents that they need. So they needed the, accounts payable and accounts receivable, and when I say accounts payable, they need the bills, they need copies of the checks, they need the POs, because they're checking to make sure signatures, that we have followed procedures in our requisition. So there was probably 3 pages of bills that we had to supply them with. That has been done. Couple pages of deposits that they wanted to see on different types of occupational tax. They're still waiting on some things for us. One of them is a finalization of the end of the year for 2021. There is, the department heads have received their financials when I've made a lot of corrections on those. Moving things back, accruing for them in the prior year. So I'm hoping that by tomorrow, before I leave, that I can give the auditor the final set of financials.
Okay, all right.
So, and they did give us some good news, a little bit of good news. I'm not gonna say it's final yet, but he's not sure that we will have to have the single audit. He thinks we might be excused from that because of the funding itself, the federal funding that we've received, which if that occurs, it will save us $8 grand.
Good. Yeah, that's cool. I hope. Thank you.
That was it, thank you.
Okay, cool.
I did have a question. We accepted the, and I'm not negative on this, so I don't want anybody to think that I am, but we accepted to do the bluegrass rides, and that went over the $30,000 limit. Did we have to bid that, or was that an executive order that you put in place?
That was my choice, because there's 3 bids, we chose from 3 bids, and that's the only 2 vendors that would apply for each time. So it was 3 different bids, but 2 different bids. And that's
So
why-
will the council need to vote on that, though it's a bid?
It wasn't a bid, it was a proposal.
It was just a proposal?
Yeah, and that's what we did, we voted on here.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to double check, because I didn't want anybody to come back and say, well, that was
Yeah.
over the 30,000, so, okay, yeah. The only other thing is I'm getting a lot of calls, probably like everybody else, with the roads, the potholes. People's cars are kind of getting knocked out of a line. I think mine did from our subdivision in the pothole that was there, so. But anyway, that's all I have this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
If
Okay,
I-
we'll
if
go to
you-
executive session.
Okay, if you can come back to me for just a second, I want to congratulate Tom. I got a call about some situations on Beech Grove Road where the road is crumbling now into the roadway.
Oh.
The drainage ditch is in horrible shape, and there's about 75% of the ground underneath the sidewalk that's eroded out of the way. And I was able to talk, I took pictures of it from a citizen that called. I called Tom today, and he gave me the grand news that this is probably all state-controlled issues, even the sidewalk. So
Yeah.
I just want to let you know I'm going to venture over to the State Highway Department in the next couple of days and get
Okay.
my beating from them. But at least bring it to their attention
Thank
that
you.
this needs, it's really bad.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for following up on that. Good. Okay,
So, Mayor, if we did want to go into executive to discuss the proposal, we would need a motion to adjourn to executive session to KRS 61.810 to discuss land acquisition.
okay.
Motion.
Motion by Lisa, first.
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor for executive session? How many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So Lisa, Deb, Mike.
I'm a no.
I'm gonna go with a no.
Stacy and Bonnie was no.
I'm a no.
Okay, 4 yeses and a no, right? Here's a no, 3 no's.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
Who's a yes?
Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
yes.
I'm a yes.
3 yeses and 3 no's?
Okay, no, that was a no.
No executive session to say, okay, so, okay, so it doesn't go.
So there's two options. If we're not gonna go into executive, it can be discussed here in open session, or council can say we don't wanna hear anything, and that's it.
Would we be able to speak then? So
It's up
that
to the
the
council.
community would be
It's up to the council.
Okay, do y'all still want him to go ahead and make the,
I mean, it can be discussed in open session, but it is one of the exceptions to the open meetings. It can be discussed in executive session.
Well, though we don't want to go into executive session, discuss about it, I'd like to give him the floor back then.
Okay, who here would mind him speaking? Raise your hand if you're in favor of him speaking the proposal. Here, so Lisa,
I don't care if he talks, but he only gets 3 minutes, cause
Right.
that's what you give
Okay, yeah.
everybody else.
we'll give him a 3 minutes, so who's in favor of giving a 3-minute speech on the proposal? 3 over here and 6, okay. Yeah, so you got 3 minutes. And that's,
So
that's,
she can speak
Yeah.
specifically on what the proposal is.
yeah, what it is and amount or anything,
You
yeah.
don't have to, yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
Okay, 3 minutes, so
So she can speak and then I can speak?
Yeah, she can speak for 3 minutes and then you speak for 3 minutes.
Didn't he already have his 3 minutes?
He already had it.
Okay, so basically, Perry is in, I think this county is in need of a building for a homeless shelter, soup kitchen, that can provide mental health services, community resources, case management, food, even, supplies for people. Someone moved into an apartment, has nothing, so they need furniture and pots of pans, he says, and things like that. So we would like, the Kaufman and family or whatever, it's called Kaufman Properties. She would like to buy the fire station for 200,000 or so, whatever the above asking price is. I think the appraised price is less than 200. So buy it for 200. We could pay more if you would like to. And then donate 300,000 for renovating the property and ensuring that Perry and this community has everything they need to run this homeless foundation, provide housing, food, supplies, and et cetera. So the Kaufman family is basically wanting to give this community $500,000 to support your community, and we're not asking for anything in exchange. We would lease the property to M12 Ministries for a 20-year lease at a cost where they can afford, and if they need money, the foundation that will be named Carol Ann's Safe Haven Foundation, that will control the money, and it will pay the bills and pay the rent and pay for whatever the construction is. So we would hire people locally to remodel the fire station and make it appropriate for a food kitchen and housing, and hire full-time people to work there, and any other things that they might need, so.
I have a question.
Yes.
You had referenced an appraisal. Has an appraisal
No,
been
but we
done?
asked around, and they think it might be around, that it might be around 170, so we said, okay, 200. A realtor said maybe 170 or so I'm like, well, we pay 200 if you guys want 200. The problem is that Lisa Kaufman, she has a boatload of money that she needs to get rid of, and because of A, B, and C, and so unfortunately, she has a timeline, and she literally has to invest this money in 2 to 4 weeks, and it's like winning the lottery, you guys. So, and she could literally, she's thinking about buying a Mexican restaurant, or she's thinking about doing this and doing that, and then I was talking to her about her mother, and I was like, well, why not a homeless foundation, because your mother liked working and giving back to the community and homeless people. And she's like, well, I have a friend, Perry, who does homeless shelter. And I'm like, well, buy him a building. And literally that happened in the last 24 hours of us coming up with the idea that she has all this money, she needs to invest it, she's going to buy a building, give it to Perry, and put the rest of the money in a foundation to pay for everything. And I'm like, okay, it's your money, what the hell? And so it can be here, or it can be in another county, but Perry's here, he likes this community, and Lisa would like to invest. And if you will do that, she has a time frame. She has to go into some type of contract for financial tax purposes and invest this a lot of money, more than what we're on this piece of paper, within 2 weeks. So good luck.
Thank you,
That's-
thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Perry, you
Well,
got your three?
Let me get this straight. She's from Indiana, but she wants to give to Shepherdsville, right?
She is not from Indiana. She literally served the military in the Navy for 25 years, stationed out of Jacksonville. She actually is a doctor. Her family, and she owns properties, a business person, etc. The military moved her to Louisville for Fort Myers. Fort Myers closed down. She decided to retire, and she owns an ice cream shop and does property investments and stuff. And her friends are here, and so she decided, let's drive over here. I don't even know where I'm at. Let's drive over here, talk to Perry,
That's cool.
see if he has a building in mind, and if he wants to buy a building, I will buy him a building. And so the firehouse, we looked at the firehouse, and we're like, oh, this is a nice firehouse. We could turn this into it. Okay, let's ask the city council. And the fact that all of this has happened in one day, that we're sitting here and your council meeting is on the day that we decided to do this, is like a God thing in our opinion. So if it's meant to be, it will be. But she literally has, her tax accountant says she has like 2 to 3 weeks to invest this money. So hopefully you guys are interested in her money and interested in helping the homeless community and helping Perry. And if so, she will make it happen. And you don't have to do anything other than sell the building.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Perry, you got 3 minutes. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not picking on y'all for 3 minutes. It's always been,
That's all right.
it's always been 3 minutes on the.
I understand, absolutely. So again, I just want to reiterate, like, the decisions my wife and I have made have been through prayer and deep consideration. We feel that very strongly about helping the community in Bullitt County. And we've helped. We've ministered to over 200 homeless individuals in our county through Mark 12 ministry over the last 4 years, through our White Flag Shelter, and now through Room in the Inn, and through our Pathway Home. We love this community. We want to put our roots here when we can find a place to buy, but we feel a connection to this community. More, even deeper, like I'll throw it out there. My wife was the one who has worked on DASH quite a few times because she works at Jefferson Animal Hospital. So we're connected to this community. God has placed us here. And so like they're saying, like, this has been ordained higher than me. And I will say, if you asked me, if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I'd be helping homeless, I would have said no. But if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I was moving to Bullitt County, I would have said no way. But God has placed this on my heart because I love the people in this county. And I love the people that I get a chance to see God work in their lives. Whether it's, the young men that go off to recovery and then come back and get an apartment and starts doing well. And now when I go out into the restaurants and I see them and they come up and they give me a hug, or they come and they're members of our church now, where they used to sleep in our church. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. Again, Lisa's blessed us. And if the city, again, all I'm asking for is support. I'm just asking for partnership. Partnership. And if it's not there, we'll find a building. Because Lisa is as determined as I am. We'll find a building. We'll put it somewhere else. But I feel like it should be in the county seat. Because if you look at every county, not just in Kentucky, but throughout the United States, resources are typically in the county seat. That's Shepherdsville. And we're a growing, thriving community that needs resources. Just like the $4 gas. I'll tell you what, the rent on the apartments right behind Garden Inn is getting ready to go up $250 a month in April. Those people that are on set incomes, by the way, they didn't get a I don't know if anybody knows anybody on Social Security. They didn't get a $250 a month raise in Social Security, but the rent's going up. So the resources are going to be much more needed. And I want to help. That's all I wanna do. I just wanna help. So, thank you.
This is the point where she has to say for a
Can
second,
I
I forgot
speak?
something.
They gotta let me know.
All right, thank you. What now?
May I speak? I only
yeah.
take 3 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My name's Deborah Bryant, 221 Caesar's Court, Shepherdsville. First and foremost, Lisa Kaufman has been volunteering at the shelter, well, for the last 2-3 years. So she spends a lot of time there. She drives in bad weather from New Albany to here to support our crew. But what I wanted to make, to let y'all hear this, is that I know the concern about the homeless roaming the streets, and that's in everybody's thoughts. I know last month, people was talking about how they vandalize and they scare them. Okay, if we have a 24/7 shelter and soup kitchen and resources for, not everyone, we can't give you 100% guarantee that we're gonna get 100% people into the shelter. But we can get a majority of them there where maybe the community, they only see the bad things that happen. They don't see the good things that happen. So maybe they will start feeling a little bit better about the homeless, and if we show that we can make a difference here. Because I'm telling you, they're not gonna go away. I mean, they're just not. And I know someone said last meeting that we was bringing them from Jefferson County to here. That's not true. Now, how they got here, they can come on their own, but we actually take some here to there. But that's all I want to say, that if we do have a permanent shelter in this community, and that building, the old shelter, my ex-husband used to be a firefighter there, so I spent many a time up there. And if we can convert that into the facilities that they've been talking about, it would be a wonderful thing for this community. I think it would benefit every person in this community. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, I got a question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
Got a question?
Can I just say something?
Yes.
I do know we have a homeless problem. I was at the library, Thursday. There was 2 women there with a bunch of their stuff, which did bother me, that there were kids there, and it kind of scared me. But before you all make a decision on selling this building, which I think is a great idea, I would ask the questions, is it gonna be supervised 24/7?
Yes.
Are you gonna have, nursing staff, or if someone gets hurt inside, I would ask those questions before I would say
Well,
yes
that
to
can
the
be
building.
answered right away.
I mean, Mayor.
Some of our staff has medical training. I'm an ex-EMT, as a matter of
Hey,
fact.
hold on just a second.
Yes, sir.
I was
Whenever,
addressing the.
whenever
I
you have
got-
to address us, so we'll go ahead and conclude this
I
meeting.
got a question.
Well,
So,
go ahead.
this is for Tammy.
Yeah.
If it's a city-owned property, don't we have to open a bidding up for the public?
So, we have due diligence we have to do. A 72-hour turnaround is not possible. It's not even for sale to my knowledge. I don't know.
No.
No.
Well, I'm not sure what, he's saying asking price. I don't think the building's for sale that I know of.
Yeah, we haven't listed it. Nobody's,
But
from my office has.
And at the very least, we would have to do our own appraisal to get an idea of that value. And then you have to make a determination that the city no longer needs the building.
Can I just clarify, the 72 hours is just like some type of assurance that says yes or no, that you're interested?
I'm not
And-
interested in selling this building.
Okay.
I'm not interested in it. I'll just tell you straightforward. I'm not interested.
Okay.
Well, what happens, we usually don't make a decision
No, I said to
on-
the building,
Yeah,
because we might wanna bid this out.
yeah. On the sign-up speakers, sign-up guests, we usually don't make a decision. We listen to them and make
It's a
our.
lot to digest.
Oh, yeah, so we don't make the
Exactly.
decision that same day, so. But if you wanna come back to the next meeting on the 28th, feel free to sign in and see, and, ask
Okay,
us how we feel.
sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, too.
I have a question.
Yes.
Officer Allen, do you know anything about Dash's, anything about the ceremony? Rick said March 27th. Somewhere around the 27th, right, they're working up.
Yeah, thanks
thank you again for your condolences. Right now, for sure, it is going to be March 27th. It's a Sunday.
Paragon Springs.
Yes, we're gonna put something out on our FOP page and along with the city page as soon as possible, probably in the next couple days, but we're gonna have a procession that's gonna lead down Conestoga, and we're gonna let the community know if they would like to give a final farewell and show their support, which the outreach we've had, not only our community, the state, everywhere has been great, but have a procession down Conestoga. If the public wants to give their condolences, they can align the roads and then to Adam Shepherd across 44 and into Paragon Springs.
And what time is this?
Right now, like I said, it's looking like it's gonna be 1 o'clock.
So it sounds like if we can get an idea on all the details,
Yep.
if you all could get it to Tammy, and maybe Tammy could send it out to everybody and Tom
Absolutely.
for, that way.
Send it to all
everybody
employees.
can get
I would say about-
We'll put it on our Facebook, city Facebook web page
Exactly.
too.
The 27th, yes, ma'am. Myself and Sergeant Burton are gonna get together tonight, and we should have everything ready to put out by Wednesday.
And y'all are the commanders for the FOP, aren't you, too? So you speak authority for that. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
We should do that in the form of a press release, and I'm happy to draft
Yes.
that, Tammy, when you all get the
Yes,
details, and we
we
can
were
send
gonna
it to
notify
Tom.
the media, and I was gonna get with the Pioneer News
Yeah.
also, so
Good.
we're gonna make
Yeah.
sure everybody knows.
Yeah.
And Sergeant Burton might be able to speak on this more, tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Wednesday in Frankfurt. They're gonna,
Wednesday in Frankfurt, our representative Thomas Huff, will be doing a citation of appreciation on the House floor.
On the House floor?
They convene at 2 p.m. I'm not sure when they'll read that, but it's sometime in between 2 and whenever they
Awesome.
close. Something else, real quick. April 30th, the FOP Shepherdsville Police Department is gonna play a basketball game at Bullis Central between Mount Washington PD.
Oh, that's cool. April 30th.
So that's gonna come out too, later on. We're gonna advertise the heck out of it.
And that's April 30th?
Correct.
Do you know what time?
It'll be at 6 p.m.
At Bullet Central?
Correct. Yep, and, like I said, I got plans in the works of how to advertise that. We're gonna have 2 cars parked head to head, like football helmets, in front of the school with advertising on it and everything like that.
Are the proceeds going for anything?
We are not charging anything, but we will ask for donations, for our Shop with the Cop.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Are you
And,
taking toys or anything?
I'm sorry?
Are you taking toys? Can we bring toys too, or? For
Yeah,
like a
sure.
Christmas
Yeah,
draft?
well, anything that anyone wants to give, yeah. We will also do a 50-50 raffle. And those proceeds will go to the exact same thing. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. All ready? Motion to adjourn?
Kenny?
Kenny,
Motion
motion
to
adjourn.
you.
Motion.
There you go.
Second would be
Me?
Mike. Okay, Kenny and Mike is second. All in favor? Carry 6-0. Thank you.
Snoozing over there, Kenny. This was your month.
Absolutely. Yeah. We gotta open it up for